trying to get out. Wiggle. He keeps falling.
He's literally just been born, but his legs are a bit wobbly to begin with.
His legs are really wobbly. Wobble, wobble, wobble.
Took you a long time to learn how to walk, didn't it?
Yeah, I was too wobbly. I kept falling over.
You did it in a couple of hours.
Yeah, I kept falling over. I went, oh my bum, kept falling on my bum. His head is always getting in the way. That one's never going to come out, is it? So there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Dear, pushing him
7. There's only seven more. So that is
in 9 more.
9 more. Do you want to name them?
We'll do later.
I do. These are which one? I've got some you might like.
So this was the chick who was born first, and although he's the smallest, he seems to be the meanest, doesn't he? And then number 2 was the white one, or the paler one at the back. Number 3 is the fluffy one in front. Number 4 is this one, who's still drying out. And number 5 is this one, who's literally just come out of the shell. And we've got another egg hatching at the back. He's gone. I think they've pushed him around now. Oh no, you can see just right at the back there is a bird trying to get out there. And then there's still another one round here as well. Don't know if you can see, but the egg in the background is also hatching. So just a little update on what's happened the last few days with the chicks. So on Saturday we had the first 3 born, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then on Easter Sunday 2 more came out.
Yeah.
And then we said that we could see 2 more trying to get out of the eggs. And can you explain what happened with those 2, Michael?
They got poorly.
Well, to begin with, how did they get out the eggs in the end?
We helped them out.
Yeah, we had to help them out. Not normally, it's not something you'd normally do with chicks, but they had been trying for a very long time to get out their eggs, over a day, and then they stopped moving around so much, so they'd obviously run out of energy, hadn't they? Couldn't see them moving anymore. Yeah. So Mummy and Michael's stepdad Morgan, we took an egg each and we very carefully got them out of their eggs. And then what were the chicks like when they first came out?
Wet.
They were wet like the other ones, but were they moving around as much as the other ones? No. So what do you think? That they were poorly and perhaps a bit worn out?
Worn out.
Yeah. So we didn't think, did we? We thought that they might not survive, but we kept them in the incubator anyway, just to give them a good chance. There was some other problems we noticed as well, wasn't there? Do you remember what was wrong with their feet? Can you describe what their feet looked like?
Bent.
They were bent, and were they going backwards or forwards?
Forwards.
No, they should go back forwards, but they were bent backwards, weren't they? So they were the wrong way round, so they couldn't stand either. So we put the first 5 into their brooder, which is where they are now, and then the other 2 we left in the incubator and just hoped that they would be okay. None of the other eggs hatched, did they? So no. There were how many? Do you remember how many eggs there were that didn't hatch?
5.
5 that didn't hatch. So we got 7 out of the eggs and 5 that didn't. That's not too bad. And we had 5 healthy chicks and 2 poorly chicks. Yeah. So the next morning we woke up fully expecting at least one of the chicks not to be well, did we? Because he was really poorly, wasn't he? He wasn't moving all day. So we've just come downstairs to check on the chicks, fully expecting at least one of them to be dead, didn't we, Michael?
Yeah.
And what's happened?
They're both still alive.
They're both okay. They've fluffed up now. That's the more sickly one, but Morgan said he's already been eating and drinking and moving around. And then Rocky's over here. I don't know, we're going to have to give the other one a name now, aren't we?
Surface.
So in that last video, you probably noticed that we were calling one of the chicks Rocky, and he was the one that we thought had the better chance of living, because really we thought that the weak one wasn't going to make it at all, but we thought Rocky might have a good chance. And do you want to explain why we chose the name Rocky?
Because he was fighting out of the egg.
So Rocky is a famous film about a boxer called Rocky, and he was somebody who didn't give up even when things got really tough. So that's why we've named that chick Rocky. And then we've named the other chicks, haven't we?
Yeah.
So can you remember what's the yellow one called, Michael?
Pika.
Pika after, what's he named after?
Pikachu.
Pikachu. And then the paler one with the stripes, do you remember what he's called?
Squirtle.
No, that's Sifa.
Sifa.
What's Sifa? C for chick.
Yeah.
C for chick. And then the gingery one, which was the first one.
Squirtle.
He's Squirtle, and he's the smallest one as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then you've got the two that born on Easter Sunday that look similar, and they are called
Bubble and Squeak.
Bubble and Squeak. And then we've got Rocky, who's got the plasters on his feet to correct him. And the only one that doesn't have a name is the last one. And he's the strongest one, we think, because he took the longest to get out of the shell, but he still kept going and kept fighting and didn't give up, which is a really good characteristic to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what do we want to do about naming this last chick?
We want to do a challenge.
For who?
Apple class.
So what's the challenge going to be?
We're going to put loads of names in a box or something, and then one of you all of you have to pick one, and the one I think is best, I'll call it.
So how about we say to your Apple class, anyone that wants to suggest a name for the fighting chick, to suggest it. We write those names on a piece of paper, and then we pull out one by random, and the first one we pull out is the name of the chick.
Yeah.
That's fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Would they get anything?
They get to name the chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good prize, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, is there anything else you want to say?
No.
So we'll just end this video by showing you a little update of the 5 chicks in the brooder, which is the next step up from the incubator. The 2, Rocky and the unnamed chick, are in the incubator at the moment, but we're going to put them in the brooder later today because they're looking a lot healthier and stronger. But the 5 that have been living in there for the last day and a half, here's an update on how they're doing.
Yeah.
So this is the brooder, which is the next step up from the incubator. These babies are too little and too vulnerable to go outside yet and live in the adult pens. So it's basically a big hutch with a lamp to keep them warm because they still need warmth whilst they're so tiny. We've got the feeder in there with their crumb mixes, which is what they're eating at the moment, and they would have a very similar looking water trough, but at the moment, because they're so tiny, we've had to just use the lid of a box, because if we put their water trough in, it's too deep for them, isn't it, Michael?
Yeah.
And 1, it's difficult for them to reach, and 2, there's a risk of them falling into it and drowning, so we've had to revert to a Tupperware lid. And if you have a look, what I'll do is put the camera inside the hutch so you can see. They're all fluffed up now, running around. You can probably hear them chirping as well. Now the light is funny because it's got a red bulb on the lamp, so they can't see the colour very clearly. But the 2 that look very similar, they're at the back there, Bubble and Squeak, and their colourings, jumping around at the moment, and their colourings are what's called Pharaoh colouring. These are all Japanese quarter-nix quails, but the Pharaoh colouring is the common one, and that's the same as Rocky and the unnamed chick as well. So they all have similar colourings as they get older. And then the other 3 have got very different colourings. This one's much lighter and has got thinner stripes. That one behind him in normal daylight looks more ginger in colour. And then Pika, which I think is on his feeder, he's yellowy, but we think from the bit of research that we've done, he will actually be a white adult, so it'll be interesting to see how their feathers and colours develop as they get a bit older. But yeah, just to recap, that's Bubble. He's the bigger of the 2 Pharaoh. That's Pika. The one with the thinner stripes is Sifa. Squeak is there. And that's Squirtle. But quite happy in their brooder. And they'll have Rocky and the unnamed chick joining them in a bit too.
Yeah.
So 7 chicks together.
Yep.